And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's Thursday, 28th of May, 2026. I say 2026 like that because I cannot believe it's 2026. Hey, hope you're having a good day. I'm just biding my time, waiting for my New York Knicks to play the finals against either San Antonio or Oklahoma City. They play, I believe, Game 6 tonight. Oklahoma City is up 3-2 and getting all the help they need from the refs. Terrible game calling by the refs in the last game. Terrible. And I have no blood in the game. I don't care who wins. All right, that's your sports for today. In case you don't know, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We will do markets. We will do the economy, your job, your industry. 60 days. What does 60 days have to do with you, your money, the markets, the economy? Oh, I'll explain that in a minute. 60 days. We'll do war, tariffs, anything that comes to mind that we think matters. And of course, as you know, we can't stand any of them in D.C. We loathe them all. Nothing personal, whether it's Trump or Biden or Obama or Bush before that or Clinton before that. Same goes for most in the House and the Senate. So those that love Trump and mad when I get on his back, don't be mad. I'm just one of those people that think they do nothing for any of us, and they're all corrupt. Some a lot more than others. You know that. You can't argue it. Such is life. We wish them well. We hope they do great things, and that's that. Anyway, and if you don't get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, you should. Just put our name in. And if you'd like to email us, just be nice and respectful, because we'll be nice and respectful back, unless you like Hamas, or you're a terrorist, or you're terror-loving, or you're racist. And boy, I've come upon some racists in my time. Very weird. I once asked somebody, why do you hate Jews so much? They couldn't answer the question why. They couldn't answer. They had no idea what the reasoning was. They couldn't even find Israel on a map. And the same goes for anybody who doesn't like blacks or any race, creed, or color. I've always weirded out on that. We all have blood. We all breathe the same air. As long as you live within the rule of law and you don't harm anybody, you leave well enough alone. Anyway, 60 days. What does that have to do with you, your money, and the markets and all that? Well, as we have told you, we believe that they miscalculated this whole war, did not realize what the capabilities of Iran was. That's not an indictment. It's just a statement of fact. And again, we're on our side. We want to win. We don't want them winning, but leave no doubt they had no idea that they were capable of taking over the Strait of Hormuz, or the capability to do what they did to other Middle Eastern countries. They couldn't attack us. By the way, what's not been reported is they really beat the hell out of some of our air bases over there, and a lot of our weaponry was knocked out. Not reported too much. Anyway, so the 60 days has now come out. There's no deal. It's just put off for 60 days. There's a framework. That's the famous words. Just so you know, you remember the trade deals with Europe? There was no trade deal. It's a framework. Remember the trade deal with China we were told about? There's no trade deal. It's a framework. So now we have a framework of 60 days, a ceasefire, Whoopee frickin' do. And interesting enough, and as you know, we don't believe anything that comes out of the mouths of this administration or the last one before that. But they keep telling us something, and then Iran comes out and said they're full of crap. And it's tough to, who do you believe? Because you don't want to believe Iran. And the big one is, Iran is stating that there is no deal unless you free up our assets, which is billions of dollars. And in case you don't know, one of the pet peeves of Trump and whatever is what Obama did, freeing up like $1.5 billion. But now we're being told that we may free up 20 and 30 billion. Now we've come back and said no, and they've come back and said yes. So we don't know where it is. All I know is 60 days now, we got to deal with this crap. 60 days. So the greatest deal maker on earth is not a great deal maker. That's all I can say. Trade deals aren't done. This ain't done. Trump, just like Biden, just like Obama, just like Bush, is lucky that they have us. Without us, they'd be frickin' nothing. Anyway, we wish the president well. We hope we win. We hope we kick their asses. We hope the deal we get does not give them the kitchen sink. We wish him great health, great ideas. We stand right by him 1,000%. For the presidency. But we can't stand anything. The corruption, the sleaze, the self-dealing is insane. My favorite one today, they are now talking about a $250 bill to commemorate America's anniversary with President Trump's face on it, and the left is having fits. I think that's funny as all hell. Would you be pissed if there was a $250 bill with the president's face on it? I couldn't care less. He's putting his name on everything anyhow. I think he's the West Palm Beach now, Trump. What is the Palm Beach airport now, Trump? Yeah, I think so, yeah. Anyway, that was today. $250 bill, they're going to have a fit. The left's going to have a fit. Well, that's all I can tell you. All right, so we're near the end of May. Let's see, June, July, August, September, October, 5 months, and then you get an election, and it's going to be a fun 5 months. They're going to curse each other out. They're going to put out ads that each side is the Antichrist and all that. All right, on the markets, well, what's the line? The more things change, the more things stay the same. Is that something like that? The Dow was hardly up. The NASDAQ 242, the NASDAQ 100 250. What was the story today? The semis came way off the highs towards the end of the day. And software very strong. Software has been an anchor until the last 12 weeks, when it broke back above the 50-day moving average and had a good day today. Why? Snowflake announced earnings and finished up, Snowflake finished up $64 today, a good 36%. I looked at the numbers, I'm like, wait, what? Earnings were only up 7%. Going forward, the earnings will accelerate, but it didn't seem that special, but had a very good day. Just to micromanage it a little bit, Oracle, which had been destroyed and broke back above the 50-day early April, broke above a little range today with some volume. ORCL, go look, it broke above $200. That it hit for the last few weeks and finally broke above. That was up $12 and change. And Microsoft, another big name, was up $14 today. That needs to leap about $434 to break it above a very important range, and looks like it's got a shot to do that. The Other software names that have been strong had a good day, and just overall the tone for software pretty damn good. You look at the IGV, that's the ETF, and it's just tracking pretty decently. Bear market into potential bull market. Notice the word potential. You never know. Up next, what else are we seeing? And we'll complain about something or other. This is the one only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Boy, didn't I whine and complain a lot in that first segment? We have every reason to whine and complain. It's really an insane asylum out there. And, my trust is about as low can be now with everything that's going on. And that lack of trust has been earned by them. What else? So, as we said yesterday, the most asked about question is, what's going on with the crypto? And our answer is, it's bearish. And had another bad day today. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have an answer for you except what we do here with crypto. If things change, we let you know. And what happened was crypto did exactly what software did a bunch of weeks ago, broke back above the 50-day, sat around for a bit and broke a stair step to the upside, just like software did, and then failed badly about 8 days ago. Had this one gap to the downside day and miserably failed. Simple as that. Ethereum, which I guess is number 2, blasted. Bitcoin, not as bad, but they are in bear trend. If that changes, we'll let you know. But as we have said to you, we're not going to tell you to sell, buy, short, or cover. The only thing we would say is you probably want to wait to add commitments to things like that. They're in downtrends. And it's surprising because for a long while it would go hand in hand with technology stocks. So somewhat of a big wow to that. The next thing, the socialist in the White House who wants to take positions in all kinds of companies, which nauseates somebody like me that wants free market capitalism, and not finding out that your son got a $600 million whatever from the Pentagon after he took a position in a startup company. Anyway, he's doing drones. So a bunch of drone companies with very little revenues really popped today. Do I want to mention the symbols? I don't know. Here's one that was up 57% today. Their best quarter, they did $8 million in sales and lost money. I hope it works. A few months back, they said, and I guess maybe they did take positions in some rare earth, and then the stocks had crashed. So why government is taking positions in startup drone companies, I don't know, and I completely disagree with it. If you want to do business with them, with the Pentagon, hey, make drones, terrific. I don't want our government taking positions because the conflict of interest is asinine. People and family and friends are getting wealthy beyond the beyond, and it's ridiculous. You can go read all about it, by the way. Anyway, so the drones had a really good day today. Now, not every drone company is going to... What I hate is when I see 5 drone companies with hardly any sales go up big. What else today? Gold, silver bounce, no big deal. Didn't see much in that. China's still very, very weak. and I pretty much avoid. Remember we mentioned that FUTU where the China did something regulatory-wise? Ever since that, it's been weak. I always watch Alibaba and Baidu, and just they're weak. Not strong, weak. We want strength, not weak. Housing weak today. The transports, I will tell you, and I found out late in the day, the rail stocks which have been acting well, Norfolk Southern and Union Pacific got hit hard today. The story goes, I guess there's a merger going on, and something happened with the merger, and I guess the market didn't like it. Oh well. But overall, the transport's not bad. What else today? The semiconductors. Things started off weak today, and I was happy because I want to buy the heck out of things on pullbacks right now, and they just did not give you a chance till late in the day. The semiconductors, I think, were up like 260 at one time, closed only up about 120, but still some of the names were just very, very strong. Some weak, some going by the wayside. AMD strong, ARM strong, ALAB strong. Others were more on the weak side. But overall, I guess the word is relentless. Relentless. The big banks finished well today. That's important, though. JP Morgan is down again today. I said to you yesterday, it's the weirdest thing. The CEO at a big investor conference says my stock is too expensive. Guess what? It's dropped $10 since that call. $10. Let's see how many shares they got outstanding. I'll find that in a second. Really? It does not show my shares outstanding now? Well, it's got an $800 billion market cap. Dropped, I would suggest it dropped about 4%, $32 billion in market cap loss because the CEO opened his yapper. Yay. Earnings front. Snowflake in the sales. Weren't big, weren't great again, but was up $63 or 36%. We have seen some outstanding reactions to earnings. There's been the usual blow-ups, but there's been some outstanding reactions out there. I got Dell Computer, which has been strong, up another $50 in the aftermarket on their numbers. Amazing. Some of these moves, absolutely amazing. Dell beats by $1.90 and guides EPS above consensus. Guess what it's talking about? Artificial intelligence. Wow. And by the way, you know when we say to you guidance wasn't so good? Guidance for the quarter two, instead of $3, they're saying $4.80. That's pretty nice. And $10 billion extra of sales. Up next, whatever else I got for you. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Oh boy, that's a good move too. I'm just looking at aftermarket stuff. Wow. I got one here, MDB, which was down $25 after the close. I guess they said something. It's now up 40, about 12%. And by the way, that's software. That won't hurt. Software. Ooh, but Gap Stores is getting smoked. By the way, Burlington got smoked today in the retail. Yeah, I got a bunch of blow-ups. What else is new? But man, Dell. sees revenues 44 to 45 billion, estimates with 35 billion. Wow. For the year, they see 165 to 169 billion, estimates were 143. That's how a stock ends up doing well. Dang, 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 dang. That will have a nice morning tomorrow. So just repeat. Another good day for tech. We don't like one-note markets. I don't think it's one note because software's coming on. You've had a little better tone in some other things. Some of the big banks act well, but some act very poorly. And by the way, there are a lot of financials that act terribly. Those private equity areas still in very bad shape. A little better retail, but a little worse other things. Best Buy was up 10 today. And by the way, I saw somebody on TV today say, yeah, Best Buy had blowout earnings. They were up 1%. I think all they saw was the stock was up 15%. Oh, blowout earnings. Earnings were up 1%, revenues were down 1%. But we're still up 15%, so good move. I didn't see anything to make it go up 15%, but I don't run the market. So when I say to you, it's narrow, it's narrow as far as the leadership goes, but other things have been coming to the fore. It's good to see software stocks doing better. Gives a better tone to the whole technology arena because software stocks crashed. And while some are still way, way down, been coming back pretty decently. Eli Lilly. I have not talked about that in a long while. Was up $44 today. It seems like every week there's more news on these weight loss drugs and what's next to come. Anyway, Eli Lilly today, the story goes that if I find the new data on something called Mounjaro and Foundeo, outperform this, that, and help type 2 diabetes, and the market loved that news. Also that Foundeo and Zepbound now covered at all three of the nation's largest pharmacy benefits managers. That definitely helped. As well as CVS will add Zepbound. More revs. That be the story. My main point, though, technology, more than I've seen in forever, has taken over the indices. More than I have seen forever. So it'll be imperative to stay on top of it. As I'm looking right now at the NASDAQ 100 makeup, let's take a gander here. The top 8 names. Oh, by the way, Micron's moved into 9th, obviously. The top 8 names, are you ready? 13, 24, 32, 39, 45, 50, 55, 59, 63. The top 8 names is 64% of the NASDAQ 100. 92 names are only 36%. You ready for this one? On the S&P, 14, 19, 23, 30, 33, 34, 35, 36. You ready? 8 names are 38% of the S&P 500. 492 names are 62%. Oh, and number 9 now is Micron, which is another one. You know what that means. Them 8 names better stay in good frickin' shape. By the way, I'm amazed. 8 names are 38% of the S&P and 492 names are 62%. Each stock should be 0.2%, 500 names. Do you know only 88 of the 500 names equate to 2% or higher? Everything else has less than what if it was equal weighted. That's a big wow. And there's just a ton that don't even register. That's something that probably one day is going to have to be figured out. Why? It's simple. Every dog has its day when it comes to markets. And there is one hope by me that we do not get a climactic run. That's a big hope by me that we do not get a climax move, because you know what happened in 2000 off of the climactic move. And just so you know, people saying, well, it's different this time. Those words, it's different this time, I hate those words. Just letting you know. Nothing's ever different when it comes to fear and greed in the markets. Extreme fear gets everybody out. And when things turn, they got to get in over time, and that fuels the moves up. Extreme frenzy has everybody in at any price. Valuations don't matter. Just buy. And once everybody's in the boat, there's nobody left to get in the boat, and then you get the turn. The good news is we don't have that yet. And maybe we won't get that yet. And I will say, for the record, I do believe that the numbers reflect a lot of good. I do believe that. But I will tell you this, in 99, the numbers reflected a lot of good also back then. Just keeping it all real, and we'll keep you informed. If anything changes, we will gladly let you know. But Dell up big and MDB up big in the aftermarket, but I do have a few things getting yanked. No biggie. Yields came down today. Oil prices backed off today. And there's nothing bad happens if that continues. If yields, the cost of capital, and oil prices, the cost of energy, come down, nothing but good news, as long as they don't reflect a recession. And I can promise you, markets have always topped out in advance of recessions, so I don't think we're going to have one. My worries remain the same. This administration is going to run a nice little $2.2 trillion deficit this year. And I just wonder, when is the day of reckoning? I get people saying, you've been complaining about that forever. Well, if you continue to take out a credit card with a higher credit limit to pay for the last one, you can keep it going for a very long time. And that's what we're doing. And of course, $1.2 trillion a year is going towards interest, not towards anything that matters. Welcome to DC. Up next, we'll figure it out. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I would laugh my butt off if they came out with a $250 bill with the president on it. The left's going to go insane. Absolutely insane. I'm just looking at some news, by the way. There were questions today of the Treasury Secretary about that fund, that corrupt self-dealing fund that, of course, the president knew nothing about. And the Treasury Secretary turned himself into a pretzel answering the question. Bottom line, self-dealing corruption in a very big way. But what do I know? You all know that, right? It's going to be fun next January if the lefties get the House. They don't need to get the Senate to investigate. But if they get the Senate, oh boy. Talk about hell. Questions? Oh, I'm being asked a lot about the new head of the Fed. Well, a few things. Number one, we're in hopes he's going to be who he says he is. You know what he has said? He wants to roll back all the printed money. We'd love that. I think they still have 6 to 7 trillion of conjured up money on the books, which, by the way, lost tens of billions of dollars, if not hundreds of billions. We're in hopes. We're in hopes he does less. You know, Jay Powell was quoted as saying, they're the economy. He's actually said that in the past. Not us, what, about 150 million of us that go to work every day? Not us. We're not the economy, the Fed is. No. We're the economy. We hope he is less. Less is more. We hope he's quiet. I hope he takes the reins of the Fed and says to all the Fed heads, hey, you can speak, but not 100 times a month. And we hope if the market deems higher rates, he raises rates. Because if the market deems higher rates and you don't, you fall behind like Jay Powell did, and what you end up doing is creating inflation. Sometimes out of hand inflation, and then you have to play catch up. What is my big problem? Well, as you know, our great president of the United States was cursing out Jay Powell for no reason. That Jay Powell's the worst. Well, he was the worst Jay Powell, but in the last year and a half, he did nothing wrong. He took rates down, took rates under market numbers, and things were fine. But the president was cursing him out because he curses out everybody. What if Warsh, the new guy, in the first Fed meeting comes out and they don't lower rates? Is all of a sudden this guy going to be a moron and an imbecile and a jackass and a loser? Because leave no doubt, the president wants a central bank to take rates down to nothing, which is sheer insanity again. So we'll see. We'll know a lot after the first meeting. That's all. Because right now, there is absolutely no reason to lower interest rates on the short end. Zero reason. In fact, the inflation numbers have been troublesome, almost to the point where you can think about raising a rate a quarter point. Though if I was the head of the Fed right now, I'd be doing nothing. Less is more. Stay out of the way. Let the economy do its thing. Not so sure we're going to get that. That's the Warsh thing. The president was out today also talking about crypto. I'm the crypto guy. Well, the family's crypto assets have crashed. And I hope, these are my hopes, stay out of the way. Enough with the conflicts of interest. That's all. If crypto wants to go higher, it'll go higher. Next big question I got, SpaceX. Everything I am hearing, the IPO will come out as a $1 bill that you're paying $5 for. Just letting you know. We're not talking company, we're talking valuation. And that's at IPO price. Now, we don't know exactly what the price is going to be, but indications, we're getting indications. You may be paying $5 for a $1 bill. The jobs of the investment bankers is to get the highest price possible. The highest price. Like they did with Rivian before it dropped 90%. We'll let you know as we get closer because it seems like everybody has an interest in space. But I can tell you, if this company was making pipes, it would come out 75% lower than the indications. But it's space, and it's Elon. Comes with cachet. I get it. But just remember, not necessarily in the short run, but in the longer run, valuations always will matter. You'll have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family and hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Have a great one, everybody. Until tomorrow. Good night.